Hello friends, welcome back. So far we have learned class structures, fields, properties, methods, function overloading or method overloading, constructor overloading, and how codes are going to get executed. How do we solve, how do we create points, how do we create circle, how do we find the distance between 2 points or two circles, whether two circles are overlapped, or we can say whether the two are collided. And I hope you remember in the first tutorial of structures and class, I think we have saved this file, problem to be solved. Do you remember this, guys? There we have seen the difficulty that we face if we want to represent the real-time objects or real-time entities in the form of arrays and use them to solve the problem, right? We have stored the different types of elements in arrays of type object. So it was giving a problem. I also told that we will solve this problem using the structures and class, and which will make much more intuitive and easy to use code, right? So let's get started and solve that problem. So here we have that code. Now what we are going to do is I'm going to delete these things. We are going to solve that problem now. Now first of all, I'm going to create one structure called as point, and the point is going to have public float x and public float y, and I'm going to create the constructor for that point, default parameterized constructor, which takes float x and float y. And what it does, guys, it just sets this dot x equal to x, and it sets this dot y equals to y. That's good. This represents a point. If I want to get the distance between 2 points, I can just write here only the get distance function, right, which helps us to get the distance. So I can make it a public which returns a float, and I can say here get distance function, which takes a point t2, another point we need to pass. That's it. We need to do that. Of course, what it does, it just says float x distance it calculates by using the this dot x minus p2 dot x, and float y distance is going to be this dot y is minus p2 dot y, right? Here I have to give minus. Then we are going to return mathf dot absolute of mathf dot square root of x distance times x distance plus y distance times y distance. That's a code we have seen already. How do it works also? We can create another class which is going to be used to represent the enemy, and the enemy is going to have public fields, public string. First one is a name, and public point. Another one is the position, then public point velocity, public end health, health, health. And I'm going to create the parameterized constructor. I can create, or we can create a default constructor. Let us create a parameterized constructor which is going to be the enemy, and it takes a few parameters, name, comma, another point which is going to be named as a position, and another point which is going to be named as the velocity. Okay, velocity. Another one is int health. We can set this dot name is equal to the name that we give, then this dot position is the position that we give, then this dot velocity is equal to the velocity that we give, this dot health is equal to health we give. So we can create the enemy now. So enemy 1 is equal to new enemy, and first it is asking for the name, so we give enemy 1. That's good. And we need a position, so I'm going to create a new point. I'm going to pass 1.0f, and I'm going to give the velocity, so that is going to be a new point. We have to give a new point, and we pass 2.0f comma 3.0f is the velocity, and we have to give a health which is going to be 100. That's an integer value. Then we can create the enemy 2. Very simple. We just copy this line and paste it down. That creates the enemy 2, and we pass here the variable name enemy2, and here the position may be 4 and 5. Velocity same, health same. After that, what we are going to do, guys, we need to find out the distance. So we can create a float d is equal to enemy1 dot position dot get distance. We can call the get distance function, and we need another point that is going to be enemy2 dot position. This will give us the distance between the 2 points, and we can say debug dot log, and we can see the distance to be displayed on the screen. Very simple, guys. Now you can see how much meaningful it is and how easy it is for us to make codes, and we can extend much better. Okay, we can add properties, fields, methods. We can add, and you cannot add methods and all in the array. So let us save and check out. Okay, let me run the code. Let's check it out whether we get the distance 5. Yes, we got distance 5. Let us understand this code. I copy this to the MS Paint and paste it. Now you can see I have pasted the code as well as I have created the stack and heap. Let's get started. First, the start function is on top of the stack. You can see first the enemy1 equal to new enemy is going to get execute. So first the enemy1. For enemy1, the system is going to create one memory location, okay, and which is going to be a reference type. We know that, and as enemy1 is of type class, it just holds the reference. So let's take its name is enemy1 and its address is maybe #1. Okay. And of course by default it is going to have in the beginning the value null. That's good. After that, the right hand side, the new enemy is going to get executed. Actually the right hand side first execute, then the left hand side, but that's okay. Then if you observe here carefully, we have two new point in this call. Okay, so first the inner part are going to get executed. So first the new keyword is going to get executed. First this one, okay, left to right it executes. First new keyword. What new keyword will do? It will create a memory location of type point. So what happens, guys? It will create a memory location of type point on the stack. Okay, here you have, and let us take its address is #2. #2 is its address. Then that is what it does, because point has x and y. That's it. After that, it is going to call the point constructor. So when we are calling the point constructor, of course we will be passing one extra parameter, that is address of newly created memory location #2. Remember that, guys. So I can say here it will jump to the point constructor. On top of the stack, now you have the point constructor, POINT. Point constructor is now available on top of the stack. So here it happens, guys. It takes one, okay, here the point constructor has a 3 different memory location, one for float x and one for float y, and another one is of course the this itself, right? So here we will be having the one extra parameter out point this, right? Structure. First one will be copied to the x, so x is going to be 1, and 1 is going to be copied to y, so here y is going to be 1. Then the newly created memory location address #2 will be sent to this. So here #2 and its name is this. Okay, good. After that, the inner statements are going to get executed. This dot x equal to x, this dot x equal to x, so it becomes 1. This dot y equal to y, so it becomes 1. So you should remember that it is pointing here, guys. It's pointing. Okay. After that, we will be having one extra line there, that is return this. And of course we have a return thing is a point. It returns a point back to us. It's a structure. So this is going to return the value at this is pointing now. So it is going to return us back in this place a memory block. This memory block is going to be given back to us, guys, over here. So this place is going to be replaced by this 1 memory block. That's good. And once we come back, we should know that the point constructor will not be available on top of the stack. After that, what happens? It is going to execute the next one. The new keyword is going to get executed. The new is going to create a memory location of type point. So you are going to have a memory location of type point again. Here we are on the stack. You should understand how the code is working, guys. Okay, and let's take its address is #3. That's good. What happens here, guys? Of course, the new point has been created now, and its address is #3. Then the point constructor is going to get called. And when we call the point constructor, we will be passing the address of newly created memory location as the last parameter. Remember that. So now here it jumps again to the point constructor. Okay. Now again, the point constructor is now on top of the stack, guys. And it has 3 different memory locations. One for X, one for Y, and one for this. So X, we are sending 2. 2 will get stored in the X memory location. And 3 will get stored in the Y memory location, and #3 is going to store in this memory location. Now what happens? This is going to point this memory location. After that, the inner statements are going to get executed. This dot x equal to x, so it is going to become 2. This dot y equal to y, it is going to become 3. At the end, we are going to have return this. So now it is going to return back to us in this place that memory block. So we are going to get this memory block returned, right? The point is of type value type, so it will be returned back over here, guys. So you are going to have here this memory location, and once you come back, we should remember that the point constructor will not be available on top of the stack. This is the current status of the stack. Let's proceed now. Next, the outer new enemy keyword is enemy constructor is going to get executed. First, the new keyword is going to get executed. So what new will do? It will create a memory block for the enemy type. It is going to create of enemy type. So it's very simple. What it is going to do is it is going to create one memory location for the string, and another memory location it needs for the position, and another memory location it needs for the velocity, and another memory location it needs for the health. Let's write these things. This one is for name, and this one is for position of type point. Velocity is also of type point, and health is of type integer. Okay, so this complete memory area is going to represent the enemy. So let's give its address. Its address is, let us take #10. That's good. That is what the new keyword does. Of course, all these memory locations are initialized by the default values. After that, the enemy constructor is going to get called. So enemy constructor is going to get called. Ta-da! Okay, so here again you are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 memory location. The 5th memory location is the enemy this, right? We are having one extra parameter there, that is enemy this. Remember that. So let's create those things. Now on top of the stack, at present you have the enemy constructor, enemy. The enemy constructor is on top of the stack, and you have all these memory locations. So let me copy this and paste it. We have one memory location for name, one memory location for position, one for velocity, one for health, and another memory location also we have, and that memory location is this. Let's get started. First, enemy 1 will get stored in the name, so enemy, enemy 1. Then, as it is a value type, right, the position is a point is also value type. So one by one, the values will be copied. So this becomes 1, this becomes 1. Then this 2 will get stored in the velocity.x, in the velocity.y we are going to have 3, and health 100 will get stored in this health variable. And of course, the one parameter, extra parameter we will be passing, that is the address of newly created memory location by the keyword new. So that is #10. So here you are going to have #10 will be passed there. That's good. And it will start pointing to that memory block. After that, the inner statements are going to get executed, guys, one by one. this dot name equal to name. So what happens here is, here the values will be copied to position and velocity. We have copied 100, we copied to health, and hash 10 we copied to this memory location. And of course, once you come inside, okay, once the next the inner statements start executing, you are not going to have these memory locations, because these memory location values we have already copied, so these are not going to be available now. That's good. After that, the inner statements are going to get executed. This dot name equal to name, so it is going to make this one as enemy 1. Then this dot position equal to position, so it makes this one 1, this one 1. This dot velocity equal to velocity, this becomes 2 and this becomes 3. And this dot health equal to health, it is going to be 100. Of course, at the end we will be having one extra line that is going to be return this. And we know that return this is of type enemy is of type class is of type reference, so it will give us hash 10 back. So that hash 10 will get stored in the enemy 1. So what happens here, the enemy 1 is now going to become hash 10. And once you store the address, we know that it will start pointing to that memory block. And as we have come out of the constructor, we are not going to have the constructor on top of the stack. This is the current status. We created the enemy 1. That's good. After that, the next statement is going to get executed, enemy 2. Very simple. What it does, it creates another reference memory location, and let's take its name is going to be ENEMY, enemy 2, and its address is hash 2. Let us take some other color, and it is going to have by default the value null inside it. Now I'm going to remove this spot. Now what happens after that, the right hand side is going to get executed. So new enemy 2, new point 100 will get executed. First, the inner new keyword is going to get executed, guys. So new point, inner new point is going to get executed. So first, the new keyword is going to get executed, and it is going to create of type point, right? The new keyword is going to create a memory location of type point. So what we are going to have, we are going to have this one. Okay, a new point is going to be created on the stack. Next, it is going to execute the point constructor, and of course we will be passing the one extra parameter, that is address of the newly created memory location, that is let us take hash 3 is its address, and that hash 3 we pass. So what happens here, from here the control will jump to the point constructor, and here we have the point again on top of the stack. The point is now on top of the stack, and point has 3 different memory locations, one for X, one for Y, one for this. Of course, we are passing here X is equal to 4, so X is going to be 4. Then Y is equal to 5, so Y is going to be 5. That's good. After that, we are passing the address hash 3. Hash 3 will get stored in this variable, and what it does, it will start pointing to that memory location. That's good. After that, the inner statements are going to get executed. This dot x equal to x, this dot x equal to x, so it makes this one 4. This dot y equal to y, this one it makes 5. That's good. After that, return this is going to get executed. Return this is going to return back us the memory location where the this is pointing, because it's a value type. So of course we are going to get the value back. This memory block is going to be returned back to us in this place, guys. Once we come out of the constructor, of course we are not going to have the point on top of the stack, right? We are not going to have this. After that, the right hand side here, the new point is going to get executed. Again, first new keyword is going to get executed. It is going to create the new memory location of type point. So what happens here? It is going to create this memory location, copy paste. Okay, it is on top of the stack now. That's good. And let us take its address. Its address is hash 4. After that, what happens, guys? After that, the point constructor is going to get called. Of course, when we are calling the point constructor, we will be passing one extra parameter, that is hash 4. So here again, it comes to this place. So now on top of the stack, again we have the point constructor, guys. So we are having the point constructor on top of the stack, and it has 3 memory locations, one for X, one for Y, one for this. So we have x. X is going to be assigned by the value 2. So x is going to be 2. 3 is going to be assigned to y. So y is going to be 3 guys. Y is going to be 3. And after that we are going to pass address of newly created memory location #4, and #4 is going to be stored in this memory location. Of course, we know that once we store the address, it will start pointing to that memory location. Then the inner statements are going to get executed. This dot x equal to x. This dot x is going to become 2. This dot y equal to y. It becomes 3. So this is 3 guys. That's it. After that, return this is going to get executed. What return this will do? It will return us back that newly created memory block, or where this is pointing. So it is going to return us back this new memory block in this place. Then what happens? Of course, we are out of the constructor. Now the constructor will not be available on the stack. That is how it looks, guys. Now after that, what happens, guys? After that, the outer new is going to get executed. The outer new keyword is going to get executed. It will create a new enemy. So what it does, let's create that. So what it does, it creates one memory location for the string. Let me copy and paste it. We get this over here. Then it creates one memory location for the point. So let us take it over here. And it creates another memory location for point. Let us take it, that is over here. Of course, I need a little bit space for the float. So I will create it later. So here we have the name, and here we have position, and here we have the velocity, and we will be having one more memory location, and that is going to be, I will keep over here, and it is going to be health, HEALTH, health. And of course this complete memory block that we have here, okay, this complete memory block is going to be having some address. Let us take #20 is its address. That represents our enemy 2, coming enemy 2. So that is the new operation will do, and initializes all these members to default values. Then the enemy constructor is going to get executed. So we are going to jump to the enemy constructor over here, and of course the enemy constructor is having all these memory locations available. So I am going to copy all these memory locations from here and put it over here. Okay, just for our understanding purpose, it will be better. So here we will be having the enemy constructor. Now what happens, guys? We should understand enemy 2 will get stored over here, ENEMY enemy 2, and here we are going to have 4, here we are going to have 5, here we are going to have 2, here we are going to have 3, and here we are going to have 100. One by one the values will be assigned to these memory locations. Once these memory locations are going to be allocated or assigned, the inner statements are going to get executed. When it comes to the inner statements, we will not be having these memory locations. Then after that, what happens? The inner statements are executing. This dot name is equal to enemy 2. Oh, we should have here this variable also, excuse me for that. So we are having one extra memory location here, that is this, and that this is assigned by the address #20, guys, right? That is the one which we will be passing as an extra parameter to the enemy constructor, right? And it will be pointing here. Now what happens? This dot enemy name equal to name, so enemy 2. This dot position equal to position, that is going to make it 4. This one make it 5. Then this dot velocity equal to velocity, so it is going to make this one 2, this one 3. That's good. This dot health equal to health, so it is going to make this one 100. Okay, after executing all the statements, we will be having a return this. So return this will return us back the address in this, that is #20. #20 will be returned and stored in the enemy 2. Now the enemy 2 is going to have the value #20. Okay, it is going to have #20. So once you store the address, we should remember that it will start pointing to that memory location, and now you don't have the enemy constructor on top of the stack. Now what happens? Of course, we know that the next statement is going to get executed, that is float d equal to enemy1 dot position get distance enemy2 position. Okay guys, so what happens here? The get distance is going to be called, which is in the point class, and now we are using the instance position, which is of type point. Of course, we will be passing here one extra parameter, that is the enemy1 position, right guys? And that is to reference of enemy1 position we are going to pass ref enemy1 dot position will be passed as an extra parameter. That is the one with which we are working. So here what happens now? It will go from here get distance to the get distance function. Now on top of the stack you are having get distance function, and it has one memory location of type point p2, so it is going to be like this. I hope you guys are clearly understanding. Here we have a point p2, okay, this is p2, and of course one extra parameter we will be having of type reference out reference point this, right guys? So you are going to have here one more memory location, and its name is going to be this, and we will be passing the values. You can see we are passing here, we are passing enemy2 dot position. So enemy2 dot position has the value 4 and 5, and those 4 and 5 will be copied to p2. So 4 and 5 will be copied, and we are passing reference of enemy1 position. Reference of enemy1 position, let us give here the address hash 5 something, okay, hash 5 is the address of the position. So here hash 5 is going to get stored, and this is also of type point, so it can refer to that memory location. So it is going to point this memory location guys. After that the inner statements are going to get executed. X distance is this dot x minus p2 dot x. This dot what happens means this dot x is 1 minus p2 dot x is 4, 1 minus 4 is minus 3, so minus 3 into minus 3 is, again you will get the 9 over here. So here you are going to get minus 3 into minus 3 9, and here if you take this one also no problem, this code also works. This dot y is 1 and p2 dot y is 5. So 1 minus 5 is 4. So minus 4 into minus 4, here you are going to get 16. So there is no problem. 9 plus 16 is going to be 25. Okay, that is what it does. And square root of 25 is going to be returned back. So first of all, we will be having two memory locations here, one for x distance and one for y distance. This one is for x distance and this one is for y distance. So now the inner statements are executing. This dot x minus p2 dot x is minus 3. This dot y minus p2 dot y is minus 4. Okay, that is what happening. Then we are going to calculate math dot absolute of this formula, we know that, and at the end we get 25. Square root of 25 is 5, and that 5 will be returned as a float back. So the 5 will be returned in this place. So this complete place is going to be replaced by the value 5, and that 5 will be assigned to D memory location, which should be in the start. So we are going to have one more memory location that is named as D, and that will be assigned by the value 5. That is how the code works, guys, and we came out of the get distance function. I hope you guys have understood clearly how the code is working, and it is interesting, right? Nice. We have understood a lot how the structures and class works, how it is created, what goes, what comes out. Why we are discussing this much about structures and class, I told you, because vectors, vector 2D, vector 3D, they are all structures. You should know how the values are going and coming, because most of the time you will be working with the vectors in games or simulations, okay, or any math applications. Okay guys, I hope you guys have understood and how it is easy to solve the problem and how much more intuitive it is. You can make it much better. You can add properties, methods, a lot of things we can add and make the code to solve much more problems. we have found the distance between two enemies. So thank you guys, thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial. Keep learning, keep coding.